Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it. Number one flaws, you don't know ball. We taking advantage of that. Got you Karens asking where the manager at. With no cap, no time for the amateur rap. Look, man, we got dogs all over the depth chart. Monsters on the roster. Straighten up that posture. Rooting out you imposters. Silver bullets in the chamber. And a D-line full of danger. Step back when that linebacker trigger, when he pull it, it'll bang ya. Running backs running downhill. Touchdown on your IG reel. Better check the stats, buddy, it's straight facts over how you feel. Whenever I speak, I'm giving you more balls than German Village or North and High Street. And you know, the average Joe can do nothing with my flow. It's a waste. Somebody please give his brother an I.O. Come on.
I told y'all before, I need to feel y'all's energy. Stop sitting on y'all hands and get this place lit. Like I said, bring the energy.
Yeah, you know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. You know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. It's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the...
Yo, what is good, everybody? What is good? Man, listen, I sound like I've been smoking like 3 straight packs of cigarettes, man. I got the extra raspy boy voice right now, screaming my lungs out last night in the shoe. Tennessee fans all around me. I had to get at them. I'll try to get some of the footage. I posted it on my Facebook, Buckeye Sports Talk with B. Moses page, and be trolling them. It was beautiful. Funky, before warning y'all, Funky's voice is trash right now because he was going nuts too. But we're going to wear it as a badge of honor because, hey, we gave it our all as a fan. What's good, Funky?
What's up, B. Moses? Yep, I mean, it's gone. We're covered. But no other way. Like I say, every time I go to the shoe, I give it all for my Buckeyes the most I can. And sometimes that's just being a good sport. So that's all I can do.
Yeah, man. I mean, you sound like a 63-year-old lady named Myrtle from Tennessee right now.
Sorry. My thing went out for a second there. But, yeah, I mean, what a performance by the Buckeyes. Absolutely just, I mean, I'm so happy for them. I mean, yeah. Jack Sawyer, I'm not sure how much you guys see it on the TV, but for all of you there, every single time the defense, the special teams was on the field, Jack Sawyer would be going to the student section all over and just pumping up the crowd, just getting everyone just excited. It felt like an anime out there. I mean, it was euphoric. It was great. I mean, I'm just so happy for them boys because them boys deserve better. Them boys, those seniors, that was not the way they want to go out in the horseshoe. JTT, Jack Sawyer, all the slanders they've gone their 4 years at Ohio State. It's been, I mean, unfair to them, unfair to all the hates. I'm forgetting now, of course. Jim Knowles has gone. I mean, it's been unfair for Jim Knowles, especially that defense and them boys on the D-line. And they ate yesterday. JTT with his best game since the Penn State game. Jack Sawyer, he had the third best win rate going into that game. He had the third best win rate in college football going into that game, but he just couldn't really get the sacks. He had the second highest pressure rate. And yesterday he was feasting every play. We talked about our offensive line being the bad part. Damn, Tennessee's offensive line sucks. Why did I not know that, P. Moses? No one told me their line sucked. Oh, my God. All I heard was our line sucked, and their D-line was great. Our D-line and our O-line just smashed them the whole game. I mean, I'm a little bit euphoric right now, but what a game. Complete game by the Buckeyes. Start to finish, or start till 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But even them second stringers played up with heart. And yeah, I mean, what a game. Yeah, I'm just very happy. And I'm super excited we're here because this is the first Buckeye Scoop podcast because they couldn't go last night because it was a little too late for some of them. You know how they get a little sleepy.
Yeah, man. We the first. Shay Sykes, I told y'all when I started the show, his voice was trash,
Yeah,
man.
it's bad.
We were in it. Listen, man. Listen, let me just go ahead and get into it. First of all, Tennessee fans were super obnoxious on campus, in the stadium, chanting SEC, you know what I'm saying? Posting little trolley stuff on the internet around our stadium. I mean, bro, they was wild, extra wild, super cocky. I mean, look, man, I can't think of anything more pleasurable from a fan standpoint, get y'all's mind out the gutter, from a fan standpoint than being in the midst of them clowns, trolling them when we went up 7-0, 14-0, 21-0, and their spirit was just breaking and crumbling. And it was so beautiful. Go to my Facebook, Buckeye Sports Talk with B. Moses page. I just showed clips of me trolling them all around me. It was so beautiful. And I think they really believed y'all. And this is what we talk about this SEC stuff, because they're the same fans who, number one, they have not won anything since 1998, not a conference title or a national title. Okay, since Peyton Manning, 1998. I'm sorry, not Peyton Manning. I think he was gone. 1998. Okay, that's one thing. Two, they're the same fans who be like, if you was in the SEC, you would have 3-4 losses if you was in the SEC, right? But, dude, like, you're not Bama under Saban. You're not LSU, you know, with Burrow. You're not these teams. I hate how SEC fans always hitch their wagon to the elite of the conference. Tennessee is a good team this year. They have some talent there. Heupel's a good coach. They got some guys now. They're still building, though. They're not on our level, and clearly we showed that. But they thought they was going to walk up in our crib, up in our trap, and take over our trap. Not happening. And the players took that personal. I saw Brian Hartline just tweet about it, tweet back to what's the old boy's name, Clay Travis, about it. Like, first of all, shout out to you know, my homie who hooked me up with the sideline tickets, man. Once again, I was right there on the field, and I was right there in the midst of the players and the coaches and all that, and they were hyped. The energy was crazy. You could tell, like, it was like, nah, this ain't happening. So it was just beautiful, man. It was just a great experience. I don't want to just go on and on because we're gonna do it in waves, but the experience in that stadium was insane. It was as lit as it has ever been. My dude Mike Patterson, shout out to my dude Mike. He was in the chat earlier. He was talking about how Tennessee fans was popping off, and he was like, "One thing we gonna do is we gonna match energy. Absolutely, we gonna match energy." And I was one of the people in there leading the matching of the energy because I was popping off heavy, y'all, to them Tennessee fans. I wish they had a camera on me. I was clowning. But anyway, I'll stop right there for now. But the experience was great, y'all. And yes, Funky, I'm proud of them boys, man. They showed out. I'm happy for Ryan Day, this coaching staff, and we're gonna get into that. But go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing I need to just point out right away not my player of the game, but my player that was most doubted really going into this game, or not most doubted because all the players are doubted, but God, Luke Montgomery was so good.
Yeah,
what a game he played. He balled. He was whatever. He's our 8th or 9th best offensive lineman on the roster going into the season. And man, we gave him his opportunity and he balled out. That first touchdown run by Trayvon to make the score up 21, pancake block, and just all day he was playing great. Clearly not perfect. Tennessee's defensive line is great. Their defense is supposedly a great defense, and so there's some clearly we had not every play worked, but man, their pass pro was amazing. Tennessee had 0 sacks all game. Tennessee going into this game had 2 of the highest, best defensive ends according to PFF, and the Buckeyes going deep in our bag just shut them down. And that's a credit to the offensive line. That's credit to Trip Kelly. And that's credit to Ryan Day and Will Howard. And I'm just ecstatic. It's Will Howard proved everybody wrong.
Yeah.
He was that was one of the greatest performances I've seen from an Ohio State quarterback. But that's just the truth. That was one of the greatest performances. He played himself into the NFL. It's like when CJ had that game versus Georgia. After that game, I was like, okay, CJ's ready for the NFL. He's ready. That game showed me. I was like, yep, he could be a star in the NFL. And this was that game for Will Howard. This game proved to me that Will Howard can get drafted in the NFL, and it's just, I mean, yeah, he's a good NFL player at this point. Same with all the team, but yeah, the super proud of Luke Montgomery and the whole offensive line, and just what a I'm going to say it again. What a game, B. Moses. What a freaking game,
man.
bro. I'm
So
stoked.
great.
Stoked.
So great. To your point, Will Howard, I like the stoked. Shout out to Will Howard. Stoked. 24 for 29, 311 yards passing, 10.7 average, 2 TDs, a bogus interception, and 98.8 QBR. He was razor sharp last night. And it was a sight to see. But yes, this O-line deserves a lot of credit. Now, one thing I feel like, when you see stuff show up on the field, and you like, okay, that's exactly what I said. You know how you like kind of pat yourself on the back, like, man, like I feel like a genius right now. And what I mean by that is the play calling. There was a lot more gap scheme. Remember last week I was saying, get away from the zone stuff, at least primarily get away from it. Hat on hat, gap scheme, counter, pull the guards, because that is what was working, minimally against Scum, because we just didn't do it as much. And we came out and did a ton of that. And the run game was sufficient enough to where they had to respect it, and it was effective. Obviously, we had 3 rushing TDs, right? Henderson and then 2 for Juckins, correct? So
correct. Yeah. Was it not 2 for Henderson? It was 2 for.
Did Henderson have 2? Yes, he did have 2. Yeah. He did have 2. That's right. That's right. He had 4 rushing TDs. Yeah. And so the O-line wasn't perfect with the run blocking because Tennessee has a good front now. They had a good front, and they showed it on some plays. But the diversity in play calling, the eye candy, the constraint plays, and what I mean by that, y'all, is basically in layman terms, is that we ran a lot of things pre-snap to sort of eye candy to keep the defense from just pinning their ears back. They had to sit back and respect the jet sweep. They had to respect the orbit motion, and the different, play action, fake handoffs and things like that we were running to kind of back them up and not just let them go at us. And we simplified the blocking schemes, all of that, y'all, all of that. Now, on one hand, yes, you can be pissed like, man, what was this against Scum? I get that. But I'm trying to focus on the positive. I'm just glad that they did what I was hoping they would do. They even got the ball to Henderson and Juckins out of the backfield more. I mean, all the stuff we talked about, y'all. And it was just beautiful. And yes, let me focus on the O-line. O-line did an outstanding job, especially of pass pro. Tennessee fan behind me, it was actually pretty funny after a while because he pretty much waved the white flag because he was popping off. We were kind of going back and forth, but he started waving the white flag and just being nice. And he was just basically, how your team getting stroked. And then at some point you just like, man, I'm just going to go along with it and just laugh.
You have to, yeah.
Basically, that's what he was doing. He was just like, man, Will Howard's just back there making a sandwich all day. That's my Tennessee accent and, whatever. But it was just great. It was great football. This is the team that we all hoped that we would see consistently. So yes, there's some frustration with not seeing that, but now it's money time. You feel me? And at this point, let's do this, y'all. Let's do this. Like, we came out the gates, guns blazing. Now let's go ahead and pop Oregon, and we're gonna get to that a little later, Funk.
Yeah. Just the thing about Oregon that I'm not very that doesn't scare me as much is their defense is very, very, very average. Like, they let Penn State look like a Super Bowl offense. No, seriously. And we saw if you watch the Penn State SMU game, the funny thing is I watched that Penn State SMU game and I didn't think, my first reaction wasn't, wow, Penn State's so much better than SMU, because that's just not how the game was going. If you the first possession of the game, SMU just drives it down their throat and has a 4th and 1 and tries to do like a bootleg that was easily working. The quarterback could have ran for 5 yards easily for the first down, but he decides to throw it to the guy, and the guy drops it in the end zone and turnover on downs. And then they get the ball back and pick 6, then get the ball back, then pick 6, and then get a turnover in the red zone, and then they turn it over again in the red zone. So it's like, I really didn't watch that game thinking Penn State was any good. Penn State's still just as fraudulent as I think they are. And I say that because Penn State was in there with Oregon. They gave Oregon kind of a hell game. They made Drew Aller look like a good quarterback, and that's really hard to do. Oh, that's seriously hard to do. Like, seriously, that's extremely hard to do. He's just very, very average. So, Oregon, I think it's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. It just is. Statistically, it is. It's always been that way. It always will be that way. It's just really hard to do in college football. Clearly, it can happen. We saw it last year with Washington versus Oregon, but I like our odds with the Buckeyes, especially. I don't think that's ever happened with us, given it's never been a playoff situation like this before. But I fucking need CPR a little bit.
The funky comments right here are hilarious. That's worth the price of admission. Just off rip.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I like Ohio State's changes offensively versus Oregon. Defensively, clearly it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle. But damn, I wouldn't want to test our defense versus anyone. Like we haven't even talked about the D yet. Oh God, I mean, it's because it's what we expect, B. Moses. They gave up 10 points. I don't care about that BS 7 versus our third strings and their first strings. We gave up 10 points, B. Moses. 0 points in the second half and 10 points in the first half. What an absolute performance. And that wasn't all BS penalty. Like, we're getting to the freaking quarterback. We were just doing our stuff. Tennessee didn't have one offensive holding call all day. They only had like 1 or 2 offsides, 1 or 2 delay of games. You're welcome. But it wasn't like Tennessee just kept shooting themselves in the foot. We just kept getting to the freaking quarterback, and it was great. I didn't even think Nico played that bad. He was just running for his life down there. He actually is the only reason why they had any offense, because their only offense ever was miracle quarterback scrambles. But in reality, we did a pretty good job against the quarterback scrambles. Like, we didn't do a bad job. It's just that was their only offense they've gone all game. And it was really only for like 1 possession. So what a possession, what a game by the defense again. But the fact that we have a good defense, we don't have to play on the road. It'll be 50-50. I mean, at least Ohio State traveled well, and our fans better get their asses down there. Can we save our money for this, right? I will be there, B. Moses. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I mean, I live down there, so it's a little easy. I have to go.
Right.
But it's going to be a blast. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. Oregon's not as good as Tennessee defensively, so that's what gives me confidence. Because that means if we can put up 40, I forget the score now, 42 versus Tennessee, then we can put up 50 plus versus Oregon. And if we play in our A game offensively, there's no team in the world that can beat us. It just won't happen. We're favorites versus Oregon. Remember, we said last week we'd be 1 point underdogs versus Oregon.
And somebody laughed at you for saying that too.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're 3 point, or no, we're 2.5 point favorites, right? As of right now, versus Oregon. So it's what a great place to be for the Buckeyes. How far we've come, just as we were called sunshine pumpers, B. Moses, saying that this team's got it. Like, I'm telling you, like, this team's got it. We tried to put it together, and we put it together, and the whole world. That was probably the most watched game of the season. And the whole world just dropped their chins, and we're like, holy shoot, this Buckeye team, if they play like this, everyone knows if this Buckeye team plays like this, there's no chance anyone beats us in the world. There's no chance anyone can beat us in the world. I mean, this is like an NFL team going against a bunch of college kids. If we play like this, as good as the game plan this was, then they would have no chance. The Oregon would lose by 30, Texas would lose by 40, and Georgia or Notre Dame would lose by 60. So, I mean, will we play like this every week? Probably not. But if we do, this is the right time to start doing it, B. Moses. Get hot. That's what they say. The Packers in 2010, wild card team, just the hottest team in football, and just destroyed their way from start to finish in that playoff run with Aaron Rodgers. So that's what keeps me hopeful. So just get hot at the right time, and this is what the Buckeyes are doing right now. So absolutely, this is the right time to start playing good, and I'm just ecstatic for the season where we have 9 days to rest too. That's plenty of time. We're gonna look good. We're gonna look sharp. We're gonna be ready to go and well rested. Well, Oregon, hey, 30 days off. I'm not gonna say anything. All I gotta say is usually after 30 days off, you look a little sloppy. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah, and their guys were dropping like flies, and ours weren't as well. And they really justified my bars, and it's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the 1,000. They justified that for me, in that song. So, yeah, bro, they did a great job. Dev, what's good, brother? He said, yes, be Moses Carter. So I was on Buckeye Boys the other day on Friday night with Mello and Dev, and we had some like bold prediction type stuff, right? And so one of them was Iggy was not going to have any PIs. To me, that's a pretty bold prediction based off what we've seen this season. And he played outstanding. He should have had an interception if they wouldn't have goofy roughing the passer penalty. Oh my goodness. I was that. Don't even get me started on them refs. And then there's that. And also I predicted that James Pierce would have 0 sacks. So nailed it. But but yeah, so the defense, man, our game plan was beautiful, but the game plan was executed beautiful. Our front four was outstanding. We controlled the line of scrimmage. We did not allow old boy Sampson, while he was in there before he got dinged up or whatever, to get off on them. We didn't allow them to just open up gaping holes. We controlled the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. Also, we were getting pressure a majority of the time with 4, sometimes only with 3. So we were able to just sit back in coverage. And Nico was back there just patting. And, sacks and confusion and incomplete passes ensued. And it was just beautiful defense. We tackled well in space. It was a few times we missed some tackles. Nico is a good athlete. I think he has a chance to be really, really good. He's good now. He's talented. He's just young. And he needs to polish up a little bit. But his running skills, I was impressed. He was a little more slippery than I thought he was. I knew he was fast, but he was a little more slippery. And he's tougher than I thought too. But with that said, our defense was marvelous. Cody Simon played an excellent game. Our corners played well. They didn't even target Burke from what I heard. Now, I don't think Burke played that much in the second half. I saw a lot of Matthews, but they didn't target Burke that much at all. I don't think they targeted him. But anyway, our defense was phenomenal. And it was just interesting. Again, people like Austin Ward and other media types and myself have heard Tennessee fans on my page and on social media just talking like they was just going to come run the ball down our throat. And I'm just like, do you watch football outside of the SEC? Like, do you? Like, it's just like it. And so in the stadium around the fans, I was especially hitting on that. Like, y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all ain't running nothing. You know what I mean? I was just talking. I was talking so much, man. But anyway, yeah, bro. Defense was beautiful. And segueing to the matchup with Oregon, defensively, I really, really like the adjustments that we've made. We're more aggressive since Oregon, but I would like to. It's funny because when Nose is asked about it and the players are asked about it, they don't really tip their hand on the specifics of the adjustments, but we do know one of them is that we're a little more aggressive with getting after the quarterback, and the sim pressures and pre-snap is just a little different. But the team is playing better up front as well. You know what I'm saying? It was still the same old not getting pressure in the beginning of the year, but now we're getting pressure. And so to your point, Funky, seeing what Penn State did, I feel really, really good about this matchup. I'm not overconfident. Oregon is really good. I saw the chat earlier, but I really feel good about this matchup. But how we're playing right now, how this defense has played since the matchup. Also, it's extremely hard to beat a really good team twice in one season. And so psychologically, I feel like we have the advantage going into this matchup. That's how I feel. Do you agree, Funk?
I 100% agree. And the talk about Tennessee and really SEC bias, I never want to see a 2-loss SEC team in the playoffs ever again, B. Moses. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Absolutely not. Give me real teams who don't need the use McDonald bags to pay for kids. Let's give me real teams. Give me some teams that can play in the cold. None of this soft crap in the SEC. So that's what I want, B Moses, because I heard all day, oh, SMU doesn't deserve the playoffs. Indiana doesn't deserve the playoffs. They play cupcake Big Ten schedule. They don't deserve playoffs. And then the SEC come out there. We play a big boy schedule, and they get their ass kicked. And you never heard any of that talk after that game because they only want to talk about it when it helps their narrative. I mean, it was to me, it was kind of an absolute joke because it's like the playoffs are going to be mostly blowouts. That's what people have to realize. Even the 4-team playoffs, it was blowouts a lot of the time. So these teams are going to get blown out, and I hate the SEC guys having this superiority, thinking that they are on top. So they're just not. That's the reality. They're just right, like you said, they're riding the coattails of the good teams in the SEC.
Right.
Like the prime Bamas, the prime LSUs, the Tim Tebow Floridas. But the reality is this year, there's not a great SEC team, in my opinion. I think Texas is the best one as of right now, but in reality, Texas is probably the 3rd or 4th or 5th best teams in the country this year. So, and talk about the Denzel Burke. Denzel Burke played 50 snaps. So when he was playing, he was out there, but he didn't play much. I think after when the game was a blowout, they really want to get Jermaine Matthews in there, and Jermaine Matthews looked like a stud out there. I mean, I loved he was playing right in front of me. Him and Aaron Scott and I've got to learn these names. Aaron Scott and Bryce West. They looked great out there. And the second team D line, I'm not sure if you could really notice from the TV or whatever, or I haven't picked up on it, but we played our second team defensive line for full series, and they just went with them. I think they gave up 3 points on one of their series that they were out there. But they literally for the whole entire possession was our second team defensive line. And they looked impressive. They held their own. I got to give them credit. And that gives me a lot of hope, not just for this year, but for next year. And that was clearly an identity switch by Larry Johnson from the Michigan game. They clearly want to rotate boys in and out and just stick with their players. I'm not sure if that's a portal thing, like a portal protection thing, or if that's a identity shift thing, but whatever they did, it worked because clearly our second team defensive line still was eating up. Talk about the whole defensive backs played great, and the reason why I'm feeling very confident about the Oregon game is our defensive backs aren't going to. Denzel Burke, if you think he's going to get cooked as bad as he did last game, then I would bet against you every time because when they're. I hate calling them college students. They're not college students at this point. They're professional athletes. When you embarrass a professional athlete, the next time you play this professional athlete, you're going to get their 100%, everything they got, because they don't want to get embarrassed again. And they're going to go up, and I think Denzel Burke's going to go out there and have a good game. It's going to be a hard matchup, extremely hard matchup, but I have all the trust in the world with Davidson, who's playing his best football, Denzel Burke, who's playing his best football, Jordan Hancock, who's just been good all year long, and obviously Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is the best, in my opinion, the best defensive back in football. Not even close. So, and obviously Lathan Ransom's an All-American. So that's what makes me feel confident about this, just because one thing that travels everywhere is defense. And I know Oregon doesn't have that, and I know we do have it. So as long as we as long as we just don't let them do what they did against us the first time, like those big 50-yard bombs on third down and the onside kicks and the fumble. And that was our only fumble all year, I think. Or at least by Quinshawn, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
our running backs, period, only fumble,
Yep. So that was that's my reasoning. We just got to play good football, and those defensive backs, they're fired up, playing good. They got tested yet. There was so much talk about the SEC being fast and good defense and Dylan Sampson, but I just didn't see any of that. And the first possession when Nico's helmet cracked made me giggle. I was giggling. I was like, this Cali boy.
We out here cracking helmets?
Yeah, this is what we talked about, though. Remember, we talked about after the Marshall game. I was like, dang, we're going to kill someone. I literally said that before the Tennessee watched the tape back last week. I was like, we may actually kill Nico. We may kill him because he's a skinny guy.
You said that.
And the first play of the game, we crack his helmet, and I was like, oh my God, like these boys are not playing around. It was absolutely insane. I see a bunch of SEC chants in the chat. I want to claim one of those chants. I started. I was up there just chanting it, and I was like, everyone got to do it. Like, we got it going. That was Funky Buck started that. So I just want to claim that. I'm very proud of that. That was a proud fan moment for me. And yeah, I'll let you keep talking. I've been rambling for a bit now, B Moses. Just kidding. I'm excited, you know?
Yeah, nah, listen, I love it, man. I love the funky voice jokes and all that, man. Listen, like I said, my voice is not quite as trash, but it's trash. I wear it as a badge of honor, y'all. So I'm loving the funky voice. It's hilarious, but it's also like, yo, we just went to war. But real quick, shout out to Mello as well from Buckeye Boys. Again, Buckeye Boys with a Z at the end. YouTube, subscribe. Great channel, great dudes. On with them Friday. Mello, you've also been vindicated, brother. Remember, the person in the chat was like, but their center is All-American and our SEC All-American or whatever. Remember, you criticized their interior line and said they were overrated, and they pushed back with, but whatever. Yeah, clearly they got ate up. Got that lunch ate by Tyleek and why is old boy from Georgia? Why McDonald and Devon Hamilton, like, you know what I'm saying, did they thing. So shout out to you for that, for sure. Also, shout out to my homie Jim Jackson. Shoot, all the stuff that I posted on my Facebook, you'll see Jim right next to me rocking with me, like going crazy. He'll tell you how we was getting at them Tennessee fans, man. Great dude, man. And we had a great time. So also, one other thing I saw in the chat, and I want to address this real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I want to just make sure there's some understanding here. Now, somebody called out the Ryan Day haters, right? And also, I saw Doug Maurice with a rant on Twitter on one of his show where he made a point pushing back against Herbie and his criticism about fans. Let me just lay this out here for y'all, because I want to make sure things are clear from my perspective. Because what happens is things get lost in translation and the waters are muddied, and you really can't decipher what's being said. So this is how I see it. What I'm about to say is not for, hear me clearly, not for the fans like myself who were upset, frustrated, concerned, pissed off, and all of that after the scum loss with how the coaches coached and how the players played. That is completely justifiable and all of that. We should all be those things. I think the fans who were constantly, let's say you post something about, a week later after the Michigan game and, a Tennessee matchup and, it's time to get ready for this game as a fan base and, and all that. And you post something about Tennessee to, whatever, and it's Fire Ryan Day, or just random, goofy, extra over the top. Oh, I want them to lose. I'm rooting for them to lose so Ryan Day can leave. Like, that's not cool. I mean, if at least you're going to say that, keep it in house. Keep that in house, fine. But there was multiple people on multiple platforms posting this stuff and just constantly and this is what Nick Saban was talking about, in my opinion, is the negative BS. When he's talking about the negative BS, I don't think he was talking about the fans who were understandably pissed off for how we lost that game. We had no business losing that game. He's not talking about that. But somehow some people are trying to justify their actions of committing felony level fan violations by, basically, taking a hot dookie on the coming together of this fan base to get ready for Tennessee and for these playoffs. We talking about you people. That's who we talking about, not the people who are justifiably upset about how we lost, but yet not just at every turn, Fire Ryan Day, trying to get ready for this big time matchup. And on top of that, going to the stadium to support the team, which is really the most impactful part of the fan base, as opposed to just online. That could be annoying too from a distance, but in the stadium, selling your tickets to Tennessee fans, all that stuff, you the problem. So I hope I was clear about that, so that people can understand where I'm coming from as far as the fans who pissed me off. Buckeye fans. Was that clear, Funky?
You're clear, and B Moses. I want to get tag team in there because what I talked to some players' parents that are on the team right now, and I'll let you know right now, the players don't like it. The parents thought it was disrespectful as heck that Buckeyes fans would do that. They thought they think they said the fans quit on us, and I was like, you're right. The fans did quit on you. That's true. It's disrespectful, and that just shows we like to say we're the best fans in the land, but damn, yesterday that's not what it was. All the fans that were there, B Moses, loud, proud to be Buckeyes. But the fact that a lot of the Buckeyes fans sold their tickets to Tennessee fans and didn't want to go to the game to whatever, save money, not sit in the cold, whatever. You bought a season ticket. Then everyone has an option when they buy a season ticket to buy the next game. If you didn't want to go there, don't buy the ticket. Then that would have gone to the next person and or whatever. We would have got it to the next Ohio State fan. But instead, a lot of Buckeyes fans decided to buy the ticket from Ohio State and then resell it to a Tennessee fan for whatever, an extra $100, $200 or whatever. They probably didn't even make money. So I think it's the players notice, the fans notice. It doesn't help with recruiting. It doesn't help with anything. Us as fans, we can only do so many things to help the team out, B Moses. And one of them is to show up and be loud. And the fact that we didn't have fans really show up, Tennessee did. That was the best away performance I've ever seen in the shoe in my life. Yeah. Was it as big as people said? Absolutely not. Was it 40,000? No. Was it closer to 20,000? Yes. But still getting 20,000 road fans, that's nuts. That's a lot of freaking fans. And they did a great job with that. But our fans need to just support this team. We got to support this team. You guys called us sunshine pumpers, but in the reality, it's not sunshine pumping. It's just the reality. The reality was we have to win 4 games to win the national title, and we are going to be favorites or 50-50 in every single game we play. We were 7.5-point favorites versus Tennessee. Now we're favorites versus Oregon. We're going to be favorites the whole way out here if we keep winning. So us as fans, all we have to do is support this team one way or another. If you don't want to go to the game, then sell a ticket to an Ohio State fan. If you can't sell it to an Ohio State fan, then you better go yourself. That's the responsibility I feel like we should have as fans because the parents notice and the kids notice and recruits notice. That's just what happens. The coaches notice. You know, it's bad when we get Brian Hartline trying to defend us on Twitter. That's just kind of embarrassing. It's just not where we want to be as a fan base. So, and that's not for everybody because not everybody has season tickets. Not everybody can go to the game. Right. Not everybody. That's just for the people who sold their tickets in particular. That's who I'm talking to right now. So I'm not sure how many people are out there. It's probably, again, it's not that many people in reality. But that just was. It was a little sad to see. But for every Buckeye fan that was there, they know how loud it was. For me, that was the second loudest game I've ever been to, only behind the 2017 Penn State game. So up there with the best of the best games. So, just absolutely electric. And I'm proud of everyone who was there to support our team because they did a damn good job standing up the whole time. And I also want to talk about the freaking Kirk Herbstreit needs. Yeah. I don't know how he's welcome back in Columbus, B. Moses. I don't know how he's welcome back in Columbus. I think it's ridiculous that we even let him in the stadium. They call him Judas around the program. So Ohio State doesn't like him. No, the fans clearly don't like him. And he let out every single insecurity he had in front of everybody last night. And I think he frankly was embarrassing himself. It was borderline unprofessional what he was saying. I think he needs to. I just don't think he should be doing Ohio State games anymore. He's clearly a traitor. He sent his kid to Michigan. That's absolutely unacceptable. That's a troll job. That's malpractice. That's multiple felonies. That's like terrorism of Ohio State fandom. So I think it's absolutely disgusting. I think in general he's been like this for a while, and where Troy Smith is right about him, they're all right about him. So I lauded, and then him picking Michigan, beating Alabama in the bowl game, that kind of tipped it over. That was embarrassing because then he went out there and was like, look at all these Vol fans, these Ohio State fans suck. There's 40,000 of them, blah, blah, blah. You know what he was doing. You know what he was doing. He should have her back as the former Ohio State quarterback, but he doesn't. He doesn't have her back. He never has her back. And That's why I have no respect for him, and I wish I could say this to his face, and I hope he sees this because he is no friend in me. There's no way he can repair it. It's gone forever. Yeah, no, I wasn't even alive when he was the quarterback at Ohio State, B. Moses, but goddamn, absolutely not. He's on my target one hate list. It goes him one. Like, I respect Desmond Howard. I can hate him. Like, I don't like Desmond Howard, but I respect him because he stands by Michigan no matter what. He picks Michigan to win every freaking game. It doesn't matter who they play, and I respect that. Just staying with your guns. Respect your alma mater. Kirk Herbstreit, absolutely none of that. And he's, whatever. The Judas name is the proper name for him in the Ohio State athletic facilities. But that was wild here. But there you go, B. Moses.
Yeah, no, listen, I'll be honest with y'all. I haven't watched the complete TV copy. I didn't get to the crib last night till like almost 2 a.m. I stood in line at Buckeye Donuts and got me some donuts before I made out from campus. And of course, getting out of there in traffic is crazy. So I didn't get to watch the full copy, but I had somebody else hit me like, man, wait till you hear the trash Herbie was talking, the shots he was taking at us last night. Now, I did hear about how he would pregame, he was trying to like pump up, it's been 29 years of me in broadcasting. I've never seen this many away from, all of this rubbing it in thick. I chuckled when you said say it in person to his face. Funny thing about it is he walked past me several times with his dog. I stood right next to him. Several times. You know what I'm saying?
Moses. This is an unpopular take, but I think it's kind of sad that the man needs a dog to walk with him everywhere. Just personally, no, I'm serious. It's not a support dog. I think
it's his emotional support dog or something. But.
Didn't it? Whatever. I'll stop talking. I'll get myself in trouble. But
it's cool. But yeah, I saw Herbie, I saw Fowler, all them, whatever. But anyway, I mean, listen, I don't want him to go as far as Desmond because he is just absolute clown mode. Like, I don't need you to. It doesn't have to be from one extreme to the other. Just don't be a clown. Don't be so like for years. To me, he's tried too hard to overcompensate that he's not a homer. Like, that's been his shtick. Even since the Tressel days, he's just been on that. And so, no, I don't expect you to just be full out clown mode, Desmond Howard homer, but just don't be a D-bag either. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's whatever. He going to do what he do. And shoot, with the ESPN contract being cut off anyway, he's not around that much anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I think Ohio State is like, whatever, all right, get your little contract, your contractual, stuff in and whatever, and we move on. But yeah, so just to kind of wrap up with the whole fan thing is that, again, my whole thing was, yes, I'm still pissed. I'm never going to forgive them for that Michigan game, just like I'm never going to forgive them for the 2015 Michigan State game. That will always be something I look back on and just don't forgive them for. However, as a fan in the moment, I'm not going to spend my time online fire Ryan Day every 2 seconds as we're getting ready for the freaking playoffs. Like, to me, it's just like, that's the goofiness. That's where I get off. And it's just like, chill. Again, there's inboxes and instant messenger chats for you to vent to on the inside, because the outside world, recruits, fans, other fan bases are like looking at us like, dang, y'all. It's almost like I heard multiple people in the media trying to convince our fans to be, to not be goofy.
Nick Saban.
Right. Not only Nick, but it wasn't just Nick Saban. Yeah. It was multiple media people like, come on, guys. Like, you guys are gonna play. I'm like, that's embarrassing. So anyway, I'll end it with that. The point is, the people who was for the team in the stadium showed up and they showed out, and we got up after them dudes on the field and in the stands, and it was glorious. So yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But I know we can talk about the Oregon matchup. I guess put a bow on that, but then we also need to talk about the transfer portal. So any final thoughts on the Oregon matchup?
Final thoughts. I'm confident as ever, and I'm back on a win streak, baby. I was on a 2-game skid there, B. Moses, on my fandom, but now I'm back on the win streak brewing. And hey, if Ohio State keeps winning, I'm gonna keep going. So Oregon next, then we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll be there for Ohio State, no matter where we're at. I'm going. So because this is the year we're getting hot at the right time, confidence as ever. Give me Oregon. That's all I got to say. Give me Oregon.
Yeah, that we're gonna show up. And real quick, the homie Dev, Ohio 7715. Thanks for the $2. Hot tea fun for funky 2024-2025 Natty Lock OHIO. Yeah, bro. Again, we're gonna call this is the funky voice podcast. This will always go down as that pod, but appreciate you also. Mickey, thank you as always for the 1999. Greatly appreciate the support, the consistency, love it and appreciate it. But the final thing I'll say about Oregon is I think watching some of their fans online rooting for Tennessee openly, I think they don't want this smoke. They popped off. First of all, Oregon fans. This just like Tennessee fans, man. Oregon, listen, I know you've had some recent success. I know you're building some momentum. I know you have an unlimited NIL war chest because of Phil Knight and all the other Nike. I get it. Y'all doing some things right now. The fact of the matter is you have not won a natty ever in your existence. 0 natties. Okay, so you are still effectively, until proven otherwise, at the kiddie table when it comes to blue blood. All right, so there's that. You haven't won anything yet. Don't go trying to cash checks. You haven't, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't got the check yet. So just understand that. With that said, I don't think their team and their did I lose Funk? I think I did. Come back and I'll bring you back on stage. I don't really think their fan base, there you go, really wants to smoke with us, especially after seeing how we played against Tennessee. So I'm excited about this matchup. No, it's not going to be easy. Oregon is a very good team. I get that. For those already rolling your eyes, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I like our chances, and I'm confident that our boys will come ready to play. For me, I feel like we got a whole new life going into these playoffs after that performance. And so that's kind of the bowl. And I would just love to wipe that goofy little smirk off of Dan Lanning's face. So, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. We can talk about the portal. You want to hop into the portal?
One thing about I want to talk about the Oregon. One thing I got to bring up is I feel bad for Oregon because they should have lost the Big Ten championship game because they would have been the 5th seed and they would have to play the mighty Clemson and the mighty Arizona State.
Yeah.
But now they have to play Ohio State, and they're literally underdogs in the first round of the playoffs. It's you look at the playoff odds. Oregon went from being the favorite to the playoffs to now they're like the 4th or 5th favorites behind Texas, Ohio State, and Georgia because of the fact they have to they're running into Ohio State. They're running into the freight train that is Ohio State. So I feel bad for them because they shouldn't have to play Ohio State. I think Oregon is the 2nd best team in the country, arguably first. I mean, I think we're 1A and 1B with Oregon. So, and I just feel bad that we have to play each other so early, and the happiest fan bases ever are the SEC fan bases that don't have to play us, or they only have to play one of us. They don't have to play Oregon and Ohio State because there's no team in the world that could beat Ohio State and Oregon. So I feel really bad for Oregon because this playoff system screwed up. I think it'll be changed next year because it's so obviously screwed up. And if Oregon loses this game, we will hear nonstop crying about it. And that's valid. It'd be completely 100% valid because it's just Penn State, Texas get a cakewalk. Georgia gets a little bit of a cakewalk. It's just kind of a joke. But I'll leave it at that. And then we can go on to the portal. Do you want me to start with the portal? Or
yeah. No, that's cool. Let's go with the portal.
I was told Max Clare, 4-star or whatever a 4-star means out of a portal, whatever great portal kid out of Purdue from Cincinnati has multiple years of eligibility left. And I was told by someone who's in this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy very close to this player. And I'm told that he's signing with the Buckeyes. I was told that's happening today. So if that's what I was told, could be any second now, I guess. It could have already happened. I'm not 100%, but I was told he's signing today. I already sent in papers yesterday, but that's just what I was told. It could be delayed a day or two for sure, but I heard he's 100% a Buckeye. To me, that's kind of a position of need. Obviously, Ohio State probably isn't that high on Jelani Thurman, but Max Clare loves his relationship with Chip Kelly. And after the Buckeyes won, that kind of confirmed to him that Chip's going to be there for at least a year or two, and that's who he wants to play under. He wants to play under Chip Kelly. And I heard Louisville came in second in his recruitment because his past offense coordinator used to coach there. So that's great news for the Buckeyes. That's let's just see. I want to see that go through the net first, but that's who I was told is going to become a Buckeye, and he's a great weapon for us. And it's really these tight ends and these offensive linemen in the Chip Kelly offense. It's just so easy to succeed. You saw G. Scott. G. Scott played his best game ever as a Buckeye yesterday.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked good, and this kid's even better as a passer threat than G. Scott is. Obviously, Purdue kind of sucked, so it's hard to tell. But he's a big, athletic kid. So I know Ohio State fans don't really get excited about tight ends, but just passing along information that I got. So should be a good ad for the Buckeyes, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, we definitely, we're going to need another tight end in that room. You said what?
Did he commit?
Who?
So the kid already? Or PJ Studio said, yes, he did, Funky. Did he? 1 second.
Who is he talking about, though?
The kid I was talking about, I think. Right?
I didn't see that. If he did, he must have committed during this live. Let me check and see if. And shoot, usually my phone be blowing up when we get a commit.
Usually same. So I don't think he actually did. But maybe he's talking something else. But
I was gonna say also Philip Daniels, the kid, the old lineman from Minnesota, the cousin of Paris Johnson, is also a Buckeye. That was a nice get. He started the last 4 games of the season. And obviously, they think highly of him as far as how he projects. And shoot, one thing we've done well with the portal is linemen. We've done, outside of Victor Cutler, who was an aberration, we've done well with evaluating linemen in the portal, have we not? So I'm saying that because some people are like, oh, who's he? He's any good? I mean,
I didn't say the name. Max Clare. Max Clare, Purdue tight end. I just whatever. My bad, guys. But yeah, Max Clare, Purdue tight end. I heard he's a Buckeye. I heard he said he's committing today. But it could be tomorrow. Oh, we'll see. But I'm excited for the kid.
Yeah, definitely. And also Josh Thompson, we're hearing he's down to Ohio State and Auburn, for his services. Another old lineman from Northwestern, very good get. Hopefully we can get him. There's another kid, and I can't pronounce his name, that's in the mix as well. The point is, I know some people were wringing their hands, about we haven't gotten nobody in the portal yet. This takes time, y'all. We're also in the playoffs. Remember, we get 5 extra days after the season is over to do portal stuff. We're going to be fine. We're going to get what we need. We usually do. So there's definitely some good activity. Also, old boy running back from USC committed to Texas Tech. Haynes is still out there. I know Scum thinks they're going to get him and all that, but we'll see. We'll see, man. Some of this stuff takes time. Go ahead.
We don't need a running back too, and I think there's a good chance Quinshon comes back. Not a great chance, but I think a good chance because he saw what Trayvon did with his draft stock. Trayvon's going to be a high draft pick now because he's an NFL style running back. So I think it's a good chance Quinshon comes back, but. In general, we don't really need a running back in the portal. That's on the bottom.
It's not a super need.
We have 3 freshmen and Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, Ohio State freshman coming in. He's going to be able to play year 1. So, and running backs usually can play year 1. So with James Peoples and Bo Jackson and Turbo, another freshman, we'll be fine. I'm not worried about that at all. But continue, B. Moses.
Nah, yeah. That's it from the portal. It's just just relax. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's what I say because we have a really good history with the portal. The portal hasn't been a thing that long, but we've been pretty good in the portal. So I just never understood the spazzing out, in the first week or two of the portal because we didn't acquire anybody yet. Just chill. And real quick, Mark Johnson. Yeah, this is kind of my point. I saw somebody's comment earlier. Saying, well, what good is it to be a fan if we can't be emotionally invested? We're not saying you can't be emotionally invested, but you have to have some accountability for your emotions. And as grown men, especially, we need to have better check of our emotions and not just spewing and crying every 2 seconds online like a goofy. Like I said, keep that in house. You feel me? Like there's some stuff that you just keep in house with the fellas or the sisters if you a girl out there or whatever. You ain't always got to be crying and fire day. Yes, if we would have lost to Tennessee last night, then all right, boom. Next day, let's get back to it. Now we can get back to the fire day stuff, but we getting ready for a playoff game at the crib against an SEC team. So it's just like shut up for a week at least. Then if he lays an egg, okay, let's circle back. But in the meantime, keep your mouth shut and just either if you ain't gonna say nothing good, don't say nothing at all, and keep that negative energy back as we're preparing for a big game. That's the point. I don't think that's hard to really understand. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but yeah, so we coming towards the end of the show and all of that, but I'll just again circle back to put a cherry on top of this. I'm very happy for these players. I'm happy for these seniors, for the Jack Sawyers, for the JT Tuimoloaus, for the Travion Hendersons, the Emeka Abukas. I'm happy for these seniors, man, for being able to go out. And I saw Emeka's little video he made, basically as he saying he was taking it in one last time in the shoe. I was down there last night taking it in all. I can imagine how he feels. And I'm so happy that they were able to go out with a dub and a big dub against the opponent they played against. And then, of course, I'm happy for Ryan Day. I am. Because one thing, Jack Sawyer, because here's the thing. I know we're fans and we want what we want. We have our standards, and that's fine. But these are also human beings, okay? Jack Sawyer and others, especially Jack, though, last night, kept going on about how the stuff that Ryan Day deals with behind the scenes and some of the attacks and even the death threats and, just goofies and all that other stuff. And I know, some people don't care about that, win games. I get it. But these are human beings. And so I was happy to see Ryan Day happy last night on the sideline with Jack. Now he still has more work to do, and he has to beat that team up north. Hear me, because I know some of y'all out there, y'all take everything as justification. I'm not justifying his losses, his 4 straight losses, although don't forget, NCAA still coming. I know some of y'all rock to sleep and think just because they beat us this year legitimately that everything just went away. It hasn't. All right, so keep that in mind. But the point is that the accountability to win that game has not gone away with this win against Tennessee. We're not saying that. But in the moment, I'm happy for him and this team and these coaches, how they stood up and they put on. They put on for the Big Ten. They put on for Ohio State, for Columbus, for the university, all of that. And it was great to be in the house. And I'm glad Jim Jackson, my brother, Funky, I don't know if you want me to reveal, our little exchange and all that. I don't know. But the point is these brothers encouraged me to go to the game. I wasn't going to go to the game. I'm like, shoot, I went to the Scum game, drop bread. It's Christmas time. I got kids. I'm dropping bread. I ain't trying to go. But they convinced me to go and they blessed me to go. And I'm so grateful that I went to that game. Top 2. The 2017 Penn State game was probably my number 1 game. This rivals that. And I'm still very happy. I took the kids to go see Sonic 3 today. It was a great movie. I'm just having a good weekend, man. I'm just having a great weekend. And I'm just happy. And so I say that to say the Rose Bowl's coming up, y'all. Christmas is coming up. New Year's, all that stuff. If you celebrate, whatever. Time with your family, enjoy this, bask in it, and be confident that our boys is going to show up to play in that game on January 1st, and that should excite you.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to bring up, like I can talk about, and what Jack Sawyer talked about, and what I can talk about just from talking to parents, these parents like Ryan Day. Ryan Day is extremely popular within the parents. So I know the fans can say whatever, blah, 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 blah. The parents like Ryan Day. At the end of the day, like, that's kind of what matters. There's been one program in college football to win 11 games since the college football playoffs have started. Only one program has won 11 games every single season. Not Bama, not Michigan, not Georgia, but Ohio State. We've won 11 games since 2014. What? That is ridiculous. That's insane. That's uncanny. We talk about a standard we have for Ohio State football, and that's a standard. To win 11 games a year, you clearly we want to beat Michigan. Obviously, that just it's obvious. We clearly want to do that, but we can't just ignore every other good thing Ryan Day has done and all the good things he's done for these kids, these parents, and for Ohio State in general. He's 45 years old. We should be begging him to be an Ohio State coach because he can be here for years and he's going to grow He's going to grow as a coach. He's going to grow as a developer. He's learning every day. He's not sitting back, relaxing. He wants to be a dynasty. And I think Ryan Day is my coach, and I think he's not going to be fired. So, like it or not, he's going to be back next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, until he starts losing games. Because so far, Ryan Day, all he's done in Ohio State is win games. We take it for granted because we do it so often, but in reality, it's just not every program can do it. You see Alabama, they got the hottest shot new coach in the whole entire world, and they went out here and won 9 games. Imagine we won 9 games. I don't remember the last time we won 9 games. I mean, besides for the 1 year where we had no coaching staff at all. So, I mean, yeah, besides for that year, we just got to take into account and be very grateful that we are such a consistently great program and we don't have down years. A down year is not a thing. A down year for us is a Rose Bowl victory, So
Right.
Those stuff just doesn't happen. And one last thing not probably my last thing, but the number one thing I hate about college football, especially when the Rose Bowl's in the playoffs, I live around that area. So when the Rose Bowl's in the area, so many away fans, or it'd be all away fans. It was whatever, especially when it was Michigan last year. I kept seeing Michigan and Bama fans all across my neighborhoods and whatever, my strands and my walkways and my restaurants that I go to eat. I feel like just it would piss me off so much. So I'm so glad to see all the Buckeyes down. Hopefully stay in the South Bay area, in Hermosa Beach. That's where I would recommend to stay. Beautiful area, 40 minutes away from the place, which is not bad. You don't want to stay in Pasadena. It's kind of it's just not that many fun things to do. So, stay in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach. Funky will be around there. I'll be out there probably running on the Strand with my little shorts on. So I'll be there. Very excited, and I can't wait to see all the Buckeyes in California because that's the funky state. So
yeah, make sure you take pictures and video too, man.
Oh, I will. Oh, the Rose, it's going to be electric. I'm so pumped up. It's because Ohio State fans, we travel well to the Rose Bowl. There's so many Ohio State fans in California.
Absolutely.
It's just, I can't wait. And again, we're favorites going into this game. So screw this underdog mentality. We're the top dog. I want to win, but I want to blow them out. To be honest with you, I want to blow them out. I think we can.
Ooh.
I genuinely think we can. We can score and our defense can stop. So when you're the best defense in the nation, undeniably the best the best defense in the nation. Sorry, I read a funny comment. And then when we have an offense who has the power to be the best offense in the nation, that's a recipe for blowing a team out if we play our A game. And there's no reason why we can't play an A game because we just did it. So let's get it done.
I agree. And Lewis Lee in the chat talking about I know B Moses see my comment. I saw you, man. I'm getting to the super chats. I'm not ignoring you. I promise you. There's a method to the madness. But thank you for the $4.99. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Lewis Lee. Also, we got. Let me see. Oh, new member, P4TD4DDY. Thank you for being a new member, man. Appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. And the Jim Jackson, the brother I was talking about earlier, here he is, $4.99, one of the best atmospheres I've seen ever. So proud to be a Buckeye tonight. Oh, my voice is shot too. Yeah, bro, he was getting it in. It was just beautiful, man. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I met John Cooper. He was real nice. Him and his wife, really nice people. It was dope, man. It was dope. I'm still riding high. For sure. But yeah, it is Matt, is Kirk and Nevada going live tonight? Do you know, Funk?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay, so we need to wrap up, Dan. All right, that's cool.
We got a little, but yeah, they are. They'll start 10, 15
like
minutes.
10 after 7 or something like that. Yeah, so that's cool. I just wanted to make sure, but anyway, I have so much to say. I want to make sure in these last couple of minutes I'm not forgetting anything very important. Is there anything, Funk, that we talked about backstage that I did not hit on?
There's one, we haven't brought up today?
Who's that?
Jeremiah Smith.
low key, like that's crazy that I
We
haven't.
didn't, we didn't bring up
I
JJ Smith.
guess honestly, maybe it's almost like a. Oh yeah, Jeremiah Smith's a dog. We know that. You know, like we know that. Who
Hot
cares?
take
Like,
here. He would be the number. The fact that he didn't win the Blindnikoff is embarrassing. He would be the number. I talked to a guy who he's the same guy who told me JJ McCarthy would be a first round pick, and I laughed in his face. He's an NFL draft analyst. And he said, "I'm telling you, he's going to be," and he was totally right, and I was so wrong. He told me if JJ Smith was in the draft this year, he'd be first overall.
JJ Smith.
He'd be the number one overall pick.
I mean, he makes it look so easy. I mean, I played receiver when I played football. I'm not even don't even think I'm comparing myself. The point is I played the position at a certain level. And I'm telling you, the stuff he does, he makes it look easy. And it's just, and shout out to Will Howard for throwing dot after dot to that boy. I mean, all our boys was in their bag last night. It was beautiful. But yes, JJ Smith, please continue to get him the ball, y'all. Get him the ball. He's going to make plays. And that interception, that play was bogus. That should have been a PI.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, absolutely. I'm not going to get back on it, but that was just I was so upset when I saw that play. But yeah, but anyway, yeah, I mean, really, I think that pretty much covers it for me. I cannot wait till next week. Let me see. What day is New Year's Day on? Hold
January
on.
1st, Wednesday.
No. Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, like a day of the week. Wednesday. Yep. Okay, so we're going to have a show Sunday before the game still. So we still got another show before the game. Okay, cool. Now that's dope. That'll work. So anyway, any last words, Funk, before we hop off?
Last words is I'm so glad David Sanders got to take another visit, and I'm glad you like that. Kirk Cousins, you like that? You like that? Absolutely. Yeah, that's all I'll say. I'm glad you got to see his great offensive line playing.
And Rusty, thank you so much for the super chat. I see you, bro. Thank you, man. Rusty's a good dude. He's been rocking with me for a long time. Appreciate the $4.99. And one last thing, y'all. I got to hit y'all with it. The intro, y'all. So, real quick. So the video clip that you saw at the beginning of the show, obviously that's my song. You know what time it is, featuring Curtis Grant, Round Lives. But the local news station here, ABC 6, they played it on the show on like Wake Up or Good Morning or whatever. And then they showed it again and referenced it again when they interviewed Curtis Grant talking about the game. So that was dope. We starting to break through a little bit, y'all. And shout out to the homie Jim Jackson. Again, this is the Jim Jackson / Funky Voice show, because I done referenced Jim about 20 times now, but he was the connect for that. He helped connect for that. And shoot, also my sister Erica Moses, she was bombarding the station with tags and emails to get to the play it as well. So anyway, a little bit of breakthrough there. It's available on all streaming sites. B Moses, you know what time it is. Look it up, stream it, play it, and we're going to get it in, y'all. Appreciate y'all. All right,
Peace.
Funk. Love y'all. Go Bucks. SEC.
SEC. Peace.